Co-optimistic motherfucker!
Hey everybody, it's Captain Morgan.
The realest JB here.
Welcome to another episode of
Co-op Reviews. Motherfucker. I'm sorry.
I mean, we'll get into it there.
I'm sorry. I'm really excited. We've been gone for a while.
We have. There haven't been any really good movies lately. So
well, you know, it's fall season.
Yeah, it's the down season. Yeah. We'll have Venom next, but and then we got Winter coming out. We'll talk about that when we get to see it.
We will. But yeah.
Today we're reviewing The Predator, not to be confused with Predator or Predator 2 or Alien vs. Predator or
Predators. They did all the cliches. They even had the Requiem title in AVP 2. So they did all the movie cliches, and now we have The Predator. Yeah, so let's get right into that one.
So how does it stack up to the original?
Well, to have a full opinion, we have to look at the movie. Right. Directed by Shane Black.
Who is one of my favorite directors.
Mine too. Unlike a lot of people, unpopular opinion, I loved Iron Man 3.
I also really liked Iron Man 3. And, I mean, you know, it was a different film, and I liked the direction it was going at the time.
Absolutely, and it's 100% Shane Black style, you know. He's pretty much like a bit of a parody director. Like, he'll take all your expectations and flip them on its head. One of
my favorite scenes in this movie was from the trailers where the Olivia Munn character scientist walks in and the black guy's explaining it like you know, like
Jobu, you mean? Prince and Jobu?
Yes, that guy. And you know, he says like we call it the Predator, and she's like that's more of a hunter than a predator, and he's like we took a vote. We like vote. Predator better.
Predator's cool.
And like I was like
Predator's cool.
I was like yeah okay cool I'm down for that joke because you're right and it's hilarious. It's great lampshading of the character.
What? Just that character period.
Yes.
I mean
he was the best part about the movie in my opinion.
Because he wasn't taking it seriously. It is not a serious movie. Out of all the Predator, Alien movies, whatever, this is the least serious of all of them. And it's Shane Black directing, so it's not really surprising.
But the problem I found is that they still fell into too much action tropey. The action scenes were fun, but I felt kind of empty when the movie ended. I was like, well, that was a movie.
Well, to me, this movie suffered less in its directing and more in its editing choices. And not editing like, you know, they should have kept this shot here. And I mean, like, there is obviously more content in this film.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's so stacked. It's information.
Exposition.
But guess what? The movie is only 90 freaking minutes long.
Yeah, it is. It's 90 minutes long. So it's a very short movie.
It comes as quick as it goes, and it's just like, oh, that was a lot of hot air that it blew, but it ultimately ended up resulting to nothing as far as like it sticking to you. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like references to the past films, and it's obviously going to set up for a sequel.
Right. Yeah. Like they're turning this into their own extended universe now because they've kind of been doing that like little by little with the Alien versus Predator thing, but now they're just going all out with it.
Yeah,
I can tell.
I'm totally cool with. I just wish the execution was better because I love Predator movies, and I wanted to love this movie, and I kind of like the direction it went. You know, it didn't go the usual formula for Predator movie is
it wasn't a horror film. That's the thing. It wasn't a horror film.
It wasn't. There was like maybe one or two suspenseful scenes in this film.
If you can even call them that, honestly.
Exactly.
I was more concerned with the human characters than the actual predators. Like actually hurting
him. The human threat?
Yeah, to the main characters, the white guy and Keegan
Michael Key.
Yeah, that guy. Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And like those guys were like the main hero group, and they were against, you know, like the humans and the predators, but I felt way more worried that the humans were going to hurt them than the predators didn't feel like a threat, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the predators were more like a third party.
They were more like the inciting incident and like, you know, what kept the story going, but they weren't actually like an antagonistic force at all.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And, you know, while we're talking about Predators, let's talk about the Predators. Number one, I feel like, and now I'm directly talking to Shane Black, you fucked up. Whoever wrote this script fucked up. You know why, Morgan?
Why? Tell me why.
Because they had it's like, you remember when Taken 2 came out and you watched the whole movie and Liam Neeson didn't say Taken 2 once in a sentence? They had their chance to say, hey, there's this bigger, stronger predator. What are we going to call it? A super predator? No, you dumbass. You call it the apex predator. Because that's an actual word. Why they didn't call it the apex predator, I don't know. But I definitely shot a brick in a theater when they called it.
You feel very strongly about this.
Absolutely.
I understand.
Absolutely, because they kept calling it a super predator, and I'm just, just another predator, and I'm just like, just call it an apex predator. Why? We already.
It was right there. It was handed to you.
It's already a word that would have been very appropriate for this.
All right. Well,
anyway,
overall, I would say the film is it's worth watching if you're really bored, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see it.
I absolutely agree. I mean, as far as like the issues with this film, the pacing is a mess. The amount of content they give you versus the time that you get to absorb it is off, and
it's not worth a $15 movie ticket. I would say.
I 100% agree. I mean, if you've seen the other Predator movies and you want to see this one just to see like a big ass advanced alien rip people apart like as per usual, absolutely go ahead, see it. But it's definitely a bottom tier Predator movie.
So if you haven't seen the movie, favorite this video, come back to it later because we're going into spoilers.
Spoilers! Ding 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 ding.
Should have brought your banjo.
I know, right?
Play us in.
All
right, so I'm going to talk about my biggest complaint about the film.
Go ahead, because I have plenty of them.
Well, okay, so the small child, and his Asperger's being what the plot ultimately revolved around, that felt so shoehorned. Like, I liked that they put a kid with a non-traditional, I don't know the wordology for it at the moment. But yeah, I liked that they showed a new type of character that we don't see a lot.
Yeah.
I thought his acting was like passable at best. All the other kids in the movie were just downright bad. I'm sorry, the child acting was poor.
I agree. I mean, but I wasn't even focused on the kids. I thought the kid actually did fairly well. As far as if you're acting like a kid who's on a spectrum, which means you don't have to really display a lot of personality. You just have to display I believe that he was on the spectrum.
See, I felt the opposite way. I felt like he was kind of trying too hard, and it took me out of the experience. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's just a perspective thing.
Like, I loved how he interacted with. I keep forgetting this guy's name. I'm just gonna refer to him as Prince Njobu. But I loved how he pretty much had his interactions with the Njobu character.
Yeah.
This guy is just fucking. He's like Claw ironically in Black Panther. He's just in it for the shits and giggles. He's having fun. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I like when the main character, Whitey McWhite guy, has got the gun to his head and he's just like, shoot the kid's kneecaps out when I count to 10.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a damn.
Give a fuck, bruh. And I love it. Even this little this one part where the first Predator gets his face smashed in, right?
Yeah.
And he goes and he's just like, oh, fuck that dude up. And then he kept walking. And the other guy was like, what'd you say? He was like, oh, nothing. I was like, oh, and he didn't say dude. He said the N word. But it's just like, that's completely, absolutely, absolutely, sir. And so that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
He was really good. I wonder if, I don't know, because the thing is, like, I liked Iron Man 3, but I feel like Shane Black he's using too much of his budget on, like, special effects, and, like, he's letting, because I liked a lot of his early stuff when he didn't have a big budget, and, like, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it was, like, there was, like, a couple of action scenes, but it was just great, funny dialogue. And like I felt that every time Mr. Njobu whenever he talked, I was like, that's the Shane Black that I love. But it felt like something was missing out of this one. And it felt like there was too much focus on, hey, look, remember the Predator from the 80s? Now you get to see him, but more. And bigger.
More and bigger. And, you know, like, and my thing is like, okay, this mega predator, this super predator,
this Apex
alpha
predator?
No, not Apex. We're not going to
use
use Apex. Was a completely different, like, it turned into a straight up monster movie after a while, and
But not even a good one, because he wasn't a threatening monster, and that was the biggest issue.
I'm not saying he wasn't a threatening monster. He definitely fucked a lot of people up, but he...
Honestly, his ship killed more of them than he did.
That's true.
That ending was so... The ending with the ship and the shield. Can I just say, like, okay, so...
Oh, I love that scene, though. I was like, oh, shit. Like, shit just got really real.
But I felt like they're like, okay, we're in the last act. We've got to kill everybody.
Kill everybody.
Yeah.
We gotta kill everybody.
It just because it felt, it felt like they wanted to, bring up that old Predator nostalgia from the original, where it's just like Arnold versus the Predator
and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but the problem was they're like, all right, well, we got this far, we got to kill off all these guys so it can be mano a mano again, and it felt like they were trying too hard to kill him too quickly.
My thing is like they already did that in the last Predator film, Predators with Adrian Brody, Topher Grace, and all them. Like I love. That's my favorite Predator movie.
Oh,
yeah, surprisingly, that's my favorite.
I mean, it's a good one. It definitely deserves the props that it gets.
Yeah, but this whole like, oh, we have a whole like band of brothers that go and take down this alien, and it's just like, yeah, this has kind of already been done. I mean, these guys are a little different because they're more like vets with like PTSD and obviously some other stuff. They're not just like still in the military; they've been annexed from it. So
yeah.
That's cool because there is like messages about mental instability, stuff like that,
and there's a lot of good messages there, and I like that. But it did feel like they tried to rush their deaths. Like in the original Predator, they killed them off one by one, very slowly, and like built it up. And there was suspense. There was suspense.
Like you were like, oh, like I still remember that one scene with and I can't remember his name, but the black bald guy when he's just here, and then he looks at the invisible, and you see,
and he's sweating like crazy.
He's sweating like fuck, and all you see is his brains like split, like that.
Yeah,
that is the epitome of like what you want in like Predator suspense, because this is a stealthy alien. You don't know where he is, you don't know what he's gonna do.
Exactly.
But you're like this trained killer, and then he just takes you down like you're Oregon.
Yeah, because it was in the original, it was kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, and this one I felt like the main characters had a lot more agency. They actually were able to fight against him for most of the movie up until the last act, which is why it felt like they were just killing them off real quickly, because the Predator, the super Predator, could have taken them out at any point throughout the film and decided to wait till the very last possible minute to do it.
Yeah.
And as opposed to, like spreading it out a little bit on the way to make the danger seem real.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing I did love about this movie was it did like Predator 2, where it really dug into the lore.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
Predator world.
And it left me wanting more.
Yeah, I'm just like, we need. I want to learn more. I want to go on the planet. I want to learn about their culture, their cultural hierarchy, how their government works, how their religion works, why they're doing the shit that they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't want these humans.
And here's the other thing: are these guys like the normal people, or are these like weird predators who like? Are they societal outcasts? We don't know.
From what we've seen from Predator 2, Predators with an S, this movie is that
AVP a little bit, which is
maybe
that
the
canon?
first AVP.
The first one.
And I think it is canon. I'll say it is canon, and this is why. Because if you remember the scene in the lab where they have all the Predator artifacts, they have that one artifact where God, I can't remember her name, but the main character in the first AVP movie, they had her stick with the alien tail on it. They had that in the little science lab.
I didn't see that. I know what you're talking about.
I saw that. I was like,
That's
check.
cool.
That means AVP is canon. That means xenomorphs are in this universe. But they didn't mention like, oh yeah, you remember that alien outbreak where all these people died and we had to nuke that city? Yeah, that was that was sick. Yep. Spoilers if you haven't seen AVP 2 Requiem, but fuck that movie.
I haven't, but also fuck that movie.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to see that movie. But I digress.
Yeah.
I liked how they went into the lore of everything, and I would love to see more. I mean, apparently they're gonna do a sequel with the whole like.
Obviously, they kind of have to.
I mean, they
unless
have
this bombs,
to, but it depends on how much money this movie's gonna make. You know.
Final thoughts?
Man, this dude. If you're a Predator fan, go see it. But if you're not, and you're just like, what's the movie I can watch?
But if you like fun action movies that don't have a lot of thinking,
yeah, absolutely.
definitely. The action scenes were really well choreographed, and that was something I can say that I wholeheartedly agree with.
If you like seeing motherfuckers drop with like glorious blood and gore, by all means see this movie. But if you're looking for any kind of depth or any kind of like something to take away from it, this one isn't.
Maybe Redbox. Maybe pass.
Absolutely Redbox. I've seen this shit on Redbox.
Yeah.
But other than that, matinee maybe, but there's other stuff worth seeing out there.
Yeah. I mean, it is fall. They don't have a lot of competition.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, if you're looking for quick recommendations, Searching, that was good.
Okay.
Crazy Rich Asians, that was good.
Yeah, that's got pretty high on the box office.
That was where the only one.
If you want to see us review any of those movies, hit us up in the comments.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd be happy.
We'll review any movie you want us to watch. Just let us know.
Let us know, please. Please like and comment. We need those likes.
So, if you enjoyed this episode, please like so that the real JB doesn't have a stroke over here. And
oh my god, I need my comments.
Comment what movies you want to see us review in the future.
Subscribe.
And subscribe for more comments. I'm really concerned about you. And we'll see you on the next episode of
Co-op Reviews! Peace!